Hi, my name is Laura Fales, and I'm the Food Service Director for USD 320 Wamego. Along with the Wamego Public Library, we are so excited to bring you another summer series of Cooks and Books. It takes a lot of ingredients to make Cooks and Books a reality. Thanks to the generous donations of food, time, funds from these Kansas growers, producers, businesses, and organizations, we're able to provide 5 weeks of delicious recipes for you, our most important ingredient. Hi, today we're going to be making breakfast quesadillas. Everybody loves breakfast, and quesadillas are really easy to make and enjoy. These quesadillas call for you to do a little work on the stovetop and then finish off the quesadillas in the oven. Did you know that quesadillas originated in South Central Mexico and were first mentioned in an 1872 recipe book? And I have to check my notes to make sure I get this right. This recipe book was called La Cocinera Poblano o El Libro de las Familias. And I should have had my daughter do that because she can speak Spanish much better. But I don't think we can check this book out from the library, but we'll go over some other books that the library has here in just a little bit. So to get started, we're going to move over to the stovetop, so come along with me. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is turn on our burner underneath our skillet. If you need to have an adult help you with that to get the proper setting, be sure and ask for help. We're going to add a little bit of oil into our pan, and I like to roll it around a little bit just to make sure it's covering the bottom of the pan. Our recipe calls for 1.5 cups of tater tots that have been thawed. So these have been in the refrigerator overnight. And once I can feel that my pan is warm, which I feel like I'm cooking with a gas stove, so my heat is pretty instant. I'm gonna put those in there. And then I'm using this spatula to kind of break them up a little bit and flatten them. If you don't have tater tots in your fridge or freezer, rather, you could use diced or shredded potatoes. It really doesn't matter what kind of potato, but we just want to get these fried up a little bit and warmed up. And we're not trying to deep fry them, which is why we didn't use a whole lot of oil. So the recipe tells you to kind of flatten them down. Can you hear all that sizzling? This is sort of what they look like, all chopped up. Of course, the more broken up they are, the faster they're gonna heat up and cook. The reason that we're cooking these before we put them in the oven is because we're really not gonna have them in the oven very long. And these do have to be cooked to a temperature that makes them food safe, which normally means that they would need to be in the oven for several more minutes than they're gonna be. So this is why the recipe is having us pan fry them a little bit first. So you can see I've got those all broken up. Because they were thawed, they broke up into tiny pieces very quickly. Okay, so you just need to do this for about 4 or 5 minutes until they're nice and crispy. Okay, our tater tots are looking like they are ready to come out of the pan. So I have, in preparation of that, have prepared a plate with some paper towels over the top to absorb any of the extra oil. So I'm going to very carefully put those tater tots right onto that plate, and they will wait there until we're ready to assemble. Our pan goes back onto the heat, and now we're going to add our sausage. And I like cooking with wooden spoons. This is a high heat safe wooden spoon. Both of my grandmas and my mom use wooden spoons. So this is a half of a pound of pork sausage. If you don't like pork sausage, you could use chicken sausage or turkey sausage. If you don't eat meat at all, you could skip this sausage altogether and double the potatoes and cheese. So we're going to cook the sausage until it is brown all the way through. And this will take 4 to 6 minutes, depending. Okay, our sausage is looking thoroughly browned. It's important that you always cook your meat products until there is no more pink. And different meats have different cooking temperatures. So now we're going to add our 4 beaten eggs right into our sausage mixture. And I'm going to use a spatula to make sure I'm getting all of the eggs. And I'm going to let that set just a little bit in the sausage to start firming up. You can see it's still kind of runny, and that's what we want, but you can see how some of it's firming up already, because we do want this to just be a scramble. So once I see that it's starting to firm up on the bottom, I'm gonna just start mixing it around until I don't have any more runny egg. And if I switched to a spatula so that I could continuously scrape the bottom of my pan to try to avoid as much egg stick. See what we've got going on here. Some egg stick. Okay, this is about what we want it to look like. So I'm going to turn the burner off, and now we're going to go back over to our counter and assemble our quesadillas. So let's go that way. Come with me. Okay, now we're ready to assemble our quesadillas. I have 4 quesadillas on our pan, and the first thing that we're going to do is take a little oil and pastry brush. Because we're going to put these in the oven, they're not going to brown up like they would if we were making them in a skillet. So we're just going to put a little bit of oil on the back side of 1/2, just as such. And you see I've got them hanging off. That's because we're going to fold them over, so there's no reason for them to have to fully fit on the whole pan. Okay, so we've got these, and once we get them filled and closed up, I will brush a little oil on the other side. Okay, so we have that. Then we're going to take our tater tot mixture, And we're going to divide this between the 4 tortillas. So I'm not measuring, I'm just sort of eyeballing. And if it looks like one has a little too much and one doesn't have enough, you can make it even however you deem it fair. Okay, and remember what I said, sometimes people don't like potatoes in their quesadillas, so you could double up on a different ingredient if you wanted. All right, you can see I sort of spread those out to the edges so that when they get folded over and you take a bite, you're going to get some potato in every bite. Okay, now we're going to add our sausage and cheese mixture that we just made. And same thing, you just want to make sure that you're getting it divided and spread out as evenly as you can between the 4 tortillas. What's nice about making them this way in the oven to finish them off is that you can make 4 all at one time. If I was making 4 quesadillas in this skillet, I would have to make them one at a time, and not everybody gets to eat at the same time that way. But this way, I can do a little prep and put them all in the oven. I could use a bigger sheet pan and make more than 4 at once, and then the whole family could eat quesadillas at the same time. Okay, now we're going to add 1 cup of cheese, so that's a 1/4 cup of cheese on each tortilla. So I'm just going to sprinkle that, same as I did with the other ingredients. And instead of trying to evenly divide the first go round, I like to kind of go around, give everybody a little, then go back around. That way I feel like I'm really dividing it up as evenly as possible. And you can see that that mixture is still so warm that our cheese is already starting to melt. Okay, then we're going to fold over and press hard, press firmly, I guess I should say, the tortilla, and that also helps spread your filling evenly throughout the inside of the tortilla. You can also take the spatula that we used earlier and use it to press down, because you definitely want it to all be sealed together when it comes out of the oven and not falling apart. And then I'm gonna brush a little oil on the top with our pastry brush. I have our oven preheated to 450 degrees. That is really hot. That is not a baking temperature. That is a fast heating temperature. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with these. So these will go into the oven for about 5 minutes. That's all it takes. The inside is already all cooked. We're just trying to melt it all together and warm the whole thing up into one cooked unit. So we're going to put these in the oven, and when the timer goes off, we'll take a look at them. All right, our quesadillas are hot out of the oven and smelling delicious. They're ready for the whole family to eat. Look how big and delicious they look. Now you can serve these with a side of salsa or guacamole or sour cream even if you wanted. And really we're calling them breakfast quesadilla because they have breakfast type ingredients in them, but these would be delicious any time of the day. It's a little bit difficult to find books about quesadillas, but the library does have books about tacos. So be sure to check out Dragons Love Tacos, or Let's Talk About Taco About How Great You Are, and to learn more about the birthplace of quesadillas, this great little book on Mexico. So I hope you'll check out these and all the other great titles at the Wamego Public Library, and we will see you next time.